Good Friday afternoon, everybody. Chuck Karstensen, lesson 22 in A Course in Miracles. And today I was re-listening to the preface and introduction of this course, which I've done several times now, just whether I play it in the background passively or play it today, more in a listen to it, whatever, maybe missed mode. So a few basic lessons in general of any book that you're interested in, especially spiritual personal development, goal-oriented books. I would recommend studying them, not just reading them and moving on to the next one. So I'm studying the book, A Course in Miracles, and mostly doing it by listening since my eye surgery. But I have started to reread because reading's getting a little more doable now. Certain times of the day, my eyes are both working and doing all right. And then certain times it's like, wait a minute, I can't really see very well. So the Course in Miracles preface, I would, if you're somebody who wants to read and find this book, the basic preface was two professors at Columbia. I think it was law, were like, there's just not, it wasn't going good in their department at that school years and years ago, like, I don't know, 1960s, 70s. And somehow they came up with a way to figure out how people could get along better and do life together better, more or less. That's not in their words. And it came to being that this, the author of it, although it says in the preface, the names of the people don't matter, basically started to get a download, and their first download, like a stream of consciousness, was at one point to write, "This is A Course in Miracles." And that's how it started. And then she'd get like some dictation from God or Christ and wrote out this book. And very, very interesting. So in the introduction to the book, one statement that always sticks out to me, especially how like the guy who reads this when you listen to it says it, "This is A Course in Miracles. It's a required course, but the time you choose to take it is voluntary." So I'm going to stop there and talk about this a little bit. Many things we want to do, accomplish, be better at in life, it's actually required that you do the learning to do better at them. Most people struggle in life because they're not understanding, they haven't studied or taken the course on what they want to do more effectively at. That's in general, any course, not just A Course in Miracles. Now, let's say many people know I coach basketball. I like basketball. Basketball is not a required course. But if I wanted to be very good at basketball, I'd have to volunteer more time by practicing it, learning the skills, the intellect of playing it, and then I'd be better at it. And if I want to coach it like I do, I put extra time into learning more about basketball so I'm a better coach at it. So that's voluntarily doing it, using my time to get better at it. Now, here's the biggest challenge in the world, I think, or one of the biggest challenges in the world, that I do believe the Course in Miracles, understanding the things of God in a more receptive, truth-like manner, is a required course. But most people put their time into everything else, so they have very little time into this required course. So then life is a struggle for them. And that's a challenge for people. So it is a required course, but the time you take to put into it is voluntary. And your results or your way of living or how life's going is likely based on the lack of time you're volunteering to put into that and where you're volunteering your other time. But that doesn't mean if you don't even know what I'm talking about or not big into spiritual things or the Course in Miracles that your life is a mess. And I'm not saying that. I am saying what you are putting your time into, much of that's not required, but maybe helps you do pretty well. You're getting by. You're doing okay. But then things come your way and like, ooh, I wish I had this other basis of knowledge. That's what makes A Course in Miracles a required course that I'd never heard of until like 2+ months ago. So even that I am on a spiritual path in general, and that's maybe it was just the right timing for the course to come into my life. So it helped me better get through. my eye surgery and anything else coming and happening down the line. Now, one other thing I wanted to point out, maybe I'll actually do this in another video because this is already 5 minutes long, and I'll do it in my next one. So the next time I'll talk about a couple other things in the introduction about love, and then basically add a couple notes here about just the peace of God, which a lot of people would like the peace of God or just peace. And a lot of people would like to understand love, give and receive love much better, because that's typically where the biggest lack is most challenges are a lack of love, a lack of healing. And that's why miracles are needed. So, all right, thanks for listening today. So the message for today then is the Course in Miracles is a required course, but the time you take is voluntary. And right now, very, very likely, most people hearing this are volunteering their time elsewhere. And like I said a minute ago, that might be working to get you where you are. It might not be enough to get you where you want to be or need to be the person you're purposed to be. So hope you have a blessed weekend. We'll talk to you soon.